My first love was an old lampshade. My first serious relationship, I would say, was with a Chase lounge in an apartment I rented in my early 20s. My name is Alan. I am an objectum sexual. I am sexually attracted to inanimate objects. I know that sounds strange, that a lot of you will be laughing at me or dismiss me as a freak, but this is the way my heart has led me. I am 38 now, and like most people in this shallow age, love has fitted in and out of my life. Until last week, when I met the one. I was at a secondhand bookshop. I am a vociferous reader of horror, and according to a sign in the window, the shop specialized in the bizarre, so I was hopeful of finding some gems as I browsed among the paperbacks, with their faded and torn covers showing blood and cleavage and fangs and claws. Shelves crammed with books rose almost to the ceiling, and magazines with equal lurid covers were stacked here and there on the floor. Around one corner, I almost walked into a life-size model of a skeleton, and smiled at the sight of the plastic bat someone had somehow hung inside its ribcage, like a B-movie macabre ship in a bottle. I was happy. I remember that so clearly. Happy with the simple things in life. Then it hit me. Cupid's arrow. Love at first sight. Call it what you will. Its wood was cracked and dusty. The numbers and letters and handful of words on its surface were faded and indistinct. But none of that mattered. Shortly afterwards, I brought the Ouija board home. Now I know what I'm writing here is hard to believe. And I get that. I am responsible and intelligent. I am a chartered surveyor. I have an excellent healthcare plan. The mortgage on my comfortable apartment will be fully paid off in 7 years. I have a pension and plan to retire at 55. I also did not believe in ghosts or the other side, or that the Ouija board that now took pride of place in my front room was anything more than a beautiful object that I loved. And yet, still took out the small silver cup which the shopkeeper had said accompanied it, inverted the cup and placed it in the center of the board, placed the forefinger of my right hand on the base of the cup and asked, "Do you love me?" Of course I was not expecting an answer. I was being frivolous. My entire arm twisted and my hand slid to one side of the board. My finger felt like there was something holding it in place. Some force. What the hell? I thought, and looked down to where the cup had ended up. It was on the word no. I tried to smile, tried to laugh it off, but I was suddenly feeling bad. "But I love you," I said morosely. "Will you ever love me?" Again, my arm was gripped, was taken out of my control, and this time, I slid the cup involuntarily up to the individual letters, and as it moved over them, N-E-V-E-R was spelled out. I have no problem admitting I began to cry. In the space of a few hours, I had fallen deeply in love and had my heart broken. Over the days that followed, I could not sleep. I could not eat. I kept crying until my eyes hurt, and then I cried some more. On a gray winter morning, I walked up to the Ouija board and sat next to it. Love, I think, is a kind of addiction, and sometimes the only way out is to go cold turkey. I would take the Ouija board back to the shop and walk away. The cup remained where it had come to rest on the letter R. I placed my finger on it. "I will always love you," I said, "but I'll let you go." A by now horrible familiar sensation overtook me and the cup began to slide. I watched fascinated and horrified as it spelled out WHOAREYOU. I hesitated. I was confused and shocked, but I finally answered in a quiet voice. "My name is Alan." The cup began to move again. Its progress faster this time. WHATAREYOU. I smiled sadly. A man who fell in love. The moment I said this, the pressure holding my finger down increased sharply, painfully. I was more helpless than ever as the cup traced out just 4 letters this time. EVIL. No, I protested. Love is the most beautiful thing. My arm locked tight against my shoulder. The pain in my finger increased and the cup resumed its progress. "Please," I said. "YOU. Don't. ARE. This is really hurting me. EVIL." The board began to shake. I was trapped and scared. The shaking grew and soon the board was rattling uncontrollably. Sweat trickled ice cold down my back as I grew more and more afraid. It felt like I could not breathe. Then as suddenly as it began, the violent motion of the board stopped. I sat there gasping, hoping desperately that it was over, that I would be released from the nightmare I had found myself in. Instead, the cup began to move. It crossed the board for a long time. As best I can, this is my recollection of the words formed. "I do not understand the place I am in. All is dark and all was silent until you spoke. You creature of evil, for what else could you be? Sent to torment me in my purgatory, but I will overcome. I will escape from the supernatural dungeon with no walls, no bars, no end. I will find you and I will burn you as I burnt all those who were evil, who I condemned. Witches aplenty met their fate, crackled fine in the fires of my making. I do not remember the cup falling still, and I must have passed out because I came to lying on the floor next to the Ouija board. My finger was hurting like hell, and when I looked at it, I saw it was badly burned. So bad, my fingerprint was seared off. It was growing dark outside. Hours had passed since I sat next to the Ouija board and tried to say goodbye. That was 3 days ago. I agonized over what to do. I could not bear to destroy the Ouija board. No matter how worried I was that I'd once more be trapped in communication with the being that had spoken to me through it. Worried sick that somehow it would find a way to escape, to cross over and unleash its obscure hatred on the world. I could not take it back to the shop. What if someone else bought it for their own reasons, and they experienced what I had? So I made a decision. There is a strong box in the vault of a bank where my true love lies. Forever. Shout out to my superfans, Sweet Black Swan, Tacey, and Brooklyn. I really appreciate you guys supporting my channel, and I really look forward to making more content for everyone.